After a series of high-profile protests over how the Bureau of Land Management takes care of public lands, the government entity is looking to create a new, more effective way to do so, and it would like your input. Local News 8's Chris Nessman live now with us. Chris, what are some of the changes that the BLM would maybe make with this Planning 2.0?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, Carol. A big thing they want is input from all interested parties. The goal is to make the whole system smoother and more efficient for anyone who uses BLM land.
Meet Jeff Sidaway. While he's mostly known for his work as a state senator, his main job is sheep ranching, something that takes a lot of time and land.
We might move and stay 2 or 3 days in another spot, move up to maybe our private ground, stay there for 2 or 3 days, move off back onto BLM, stay there for 2 or 3 days.
Using BLM land is what allows him to have several thousand heads of sheep, but it's becoming more and more difficult with the amount of information the federal government wants.
How we're going to handle the sheep out here and our timelines, when we'll be out, when we'll be allowed and when we won't be allowed. And that's been getting more and more difficult to do every year because we have more and more restrictions on us.
Those restrictions and regulations are just some of the reasons why BLM land users are frustrated, as seen in several western states' protests. The BLM hopes its new Plan 2.0 will change that frustration by increasing the collaboration, transparency, and effectiveness of the agency.
We're asking those stakeholder groups that really have a vested interest, in their public lands, in their way of life, to come to the table and tell us what they perceive is out there, and so we can compare it and gather all that input and use it to develop very qualified plans.
As for the sheep ranch, Sidaway hopes the changes will mean more interaction between the land user and regulator.
What I'd really like to see is more BLM personnel out here on the ground working with us and understanding our needs.
If you're interested in giving input into the BLM's new initiative, they're having a webinar a week from this Wednesday on April 13th, but you do have to register for it. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Chris Nessman.
All right, thanks, Chris. And if you are interested in being a part of that webinar, or you'd like to learn more about the initiative itself, you can find stuff on our website, localnews8.com, and we have a link then to the BLM page.